Hello everybody, welcome to Talks with Adri. Today we're going to talk about the fifth dimension. This sphere of unconditional love that we can easily tap into it by opening our heart. Let's experience by ourselves what it is to be in this parallel reality. As we all know, the Earth is now in a state of permanent ascension, as we have discussed in the previous episodes. And there is something very special on Mother Earth and in us humans that we have the attention of all galactic beings on us. And additionally, something has to be very important with us humans, that there are many beings in control that want to stop or to delay this ascension process. There is something else that we don't know that it is occurring. Why are we so important and why our planet is so important? Well, the truth is, and this is a fact, it's not something that we have to believe, is that our heart is an energy factor. We are a machine that is capable of producing such amount of energy that it can be our own source. We don't depend on any other thing in order to live, as many other creatures do. We can be our own source of energy. Many yogis, only by breathing prana, can be their own source, and they don't need to eat, just by breathing. The idea is that we reach this state, but how can we do it? We need to learn how to control our feelings. The source of our power relies in our heart, in our feelings. The heart, as you see here, emanates an electromagnetic field that now can be measurable, and it expands wider than our body. It is created with our emotions. This field emanates energy, positive or negative, according to the emotion that I am feeling. And the heart is this great portal that connects me with my inner self, with my soul, or with God, whatever you want to call it, with the field of infinite possibilities. So it is what connects me within and what expands in this electromagnetic field towards the others, the energy that I am able to emanate. So we have these two movements in a toroidal field, as you see here in this left upper part of the graphic. These images are from the HeartMath Institute, which now they are measuring all these scientifically, all the electromagnetic field and the impacts of the brain and the heart towards others. So we have this toroidal, this opportunity of creating energy and give it to the others, and at the same time come back to my source, come back to my inner power. But what we have to do in order to dominate these emotions is learn how to be in balance. Because at the same time that they are my source of power, in order to activate my light body, my Merkabah, and really be able to use all my potentiality as a human, they also can sabotage myself. If I am caught in my daily dramas, all my vital force is going to be drained, and I will end up my days exhausted. And if I live my life in this way, what will happen at the end is that I'm not going to have enough energy to fulfill the purpose that I came to do in my life. My life purpose requires all my energy, so I cannot waste my energy with my dramas. There is an obligation of maintaining your balance, your inner balance, in order to have all the energy that you require to fulfill your life's purpose. So everybody knows that the connection with the feelings and with the higher self relies in the heart. This is something that we know intuitively, but that we stop using it. So because we disconnect so much from the source, we don't believe anymore that this is possible. But it just requires that you close your eyes and feel your heart to know where the life of your body lives. This source, or this inner intelligence, we have like a guidance inside that let us know how we feel in the different environments. And it is very clear when we are feeling good or when we're feeling bad. It is very clear. But sometimes we just deny it and we say mentally, no, I have to go through this, I have to stay here, instead of following your intuition. So today's talk is to invite you to reconnect with your feeling, with your heart, because this is the key to activate your Merkabah, the full potentiality of you as a human. In the 17th century, René Descartes was going to say that the heart and the brain were completely two different substances, that they had nothing to do with each other. And that's where science starts seeing the heart as a machine, as a pump, and not as the great portal, as the great source of energy that it is. And we, in science, as human beings, we started focusing more on the brain through a logical way, through a logical approach to develop the knowledge of our own human body. The heart is this place that connects us with our higher self. But in order to reach this connection, we need that our brain and our heart live in coherence. What does it mean that they live in coherence? There is a vibration that tells me where to go. If I am feeling okay and my brain is aligned with that feeling and I take decisions that are coherent with my heart, I create a positive outcome with my energy. If instead I feel something, but I take a decision different from what I feel, or I say something different of what I'm feeling, for example, that I just don't say my truth, I stay quiet, or for example, that I act against my inner guidance, all these will create incoherences. So the vibration that emanates my electromagnetic field is in disorder, is random. And this disorder will allow disease, illnesses, and low vibrational things and issues to come into my life. That is why the balance between the brain and the heart, it is so important in order to maintain a healthy electromagnetic field. They need both to be in balance. In order to activate this Merkabah and this full potentiality of our energy, first we need to heal our first three energy centers, the three lower chakras, the root, the sacred, and the solar plexus, as we see them here, the first three. And then it is possible for us to open our heart. How can we do this? The first thing is that we have to release all the fears. The fears that we accumulate at the lower chakras, for example, had to do with the economics, with the lack of opportunities, everything related our work, everything related our food, being able to have all the basic needs, all these that relies in the root chakra. We need to shift our perception of the world, because this is not a hostile place. Actually, Mother Nature is so abundant and so generous. But because we live in a survival mode, because we live with fear, we think that the things are scarce, and we live in scarcity. We live in survival. We think that we need to group, to hold, to control, instead of sharing, because there are more things that Mother Earth is going to provide us. If we don't release these fears, we are going to give our power away, because our inner guidance is going to start saying, hey, you don't feel good with your work, or you don't feel good with your family. So you are going to start looking for ways out. You're going to start looking for things that evade the reality. So anxiety, you can feel anxious, and then you're going to overeat, and maybe you're going to go later for drugs or for any other type of addiction that are methods of covering the reality. But this is to cover the reality with one finger. For example, try to stop the sun and say there is no light. This is only hiding, not facing what you are really feeling. And what you are feeling is you're feeling uncomfortable regarding the situation. So you need to change, you need to move on from this place. So if you follow your inner guidance instead of trying to cover it with different addictions and things like that, we're going to be able to know that we need to move from that point. This is the way to release the fears, to start trusting the universe. Trust that this is not a bad place, that this is not hostile, that maybe you are not living a good situation, but there is hope to live a better situation if you just change your mindset. We are so disconnected, and this includes also nature. We fear nature, we fear the elements, we fear the water, the storms, we fear the fire, we fear the strong winds. We are so disconnected, we fear all the animals. And now they fear us as well, because those are the relationships that we have established with our environment. Relationships of control. I'm going to force you to do this, instead of seeing how we can cooperate with each other. So it is important that we stop fearing the night, stop fearing the forest, make peace with all this world, that it is here to serve us. This is part of the invitation that these masters or these other sources are making us. There is one guy that is called Kai. He is Mexican. He is a rainbow child, but he's already an adult. And he is able to talk with the cetaceans. So he has spoke with the consciousness of the dolphins, with the consciousness of the whales, and many things like that. And he had received many beautiful messages, for example, from the whales. The whales are beings that already lived in the 5th dimension. And they are showing us a way of living, a way of enjoy the environment. They live under 4 principles: the principle of love, of unity, of cooperation, and of happiness. So if we decide consciously to live our lives with love, with happiness, with unity, knowing that we are all one being, and additionally with cooperation, helping others, we are going to be able to transform our life and to start living from the 5th dimension. I just wanted to share you this because there is so much wisdom in nature, and because we are so disconnected, and because we believe, a fake belief, that we are on top of them instead of seeing them as equals. That's why we cannot learn from them. When we return to be humble, we're going to be able to see all the marvelous things that they have to share with us. Okay, so the first thing is to release all the fears. The fears regarding the environment, the Mother Earth, the place where we live, and the inner fears that we have that had create your own reality. In this way, we can solve both the collective fear and the personal fear. The other thing that we need to solve is live in peace. If we are able to live in peace, we are going to release all the stress, all the traumas, and all the things that drain our vital force, our energy. For example, living in stress is something that everybody now considers normal. Eckhart Tolle explains very clear that it is a collective illness. It's something that it is now in the air, and because everybody has it, it is okay to feel it. But no, it is an illness, it is a disease, it's something bad for us, and additionally, it is highly contagious, and it is taught by the mechanisms of control with the education, with our working places, with our culture. It passes generations through generations now, because all the places where we go now put pressure on you. Education puts pressure on you, the society puts pressure on you, your work puts pressure on you, and many other things that try to move you out of your center. Meanwhile, you are in balance, you have your full power, your energy. But when you are stressed, you have just give your energy to this power. The mechanisms of control want to take our attention to feel in stress. They want that we think or believe that we are lacking something, that we need to have a different body, that we need to have an ideal partner, that we need to change our work. They would like to let us know or to let us believe that we are not complete, that there is something that is missing, that we need to follow different prototypes of society. And we are going to be to lose all our energy finding this perfection that it is not human, that it has nothing to do with what we came to do, which is basically to develop our own purpose with our own talents, with our own skills. So that is trying to move our attention away. And stress is one of the best methods of control. As Master Jesus says, be in the world without being part of it. That is the way of not allowing yourself to be permeated with these collective lower frequencies. You need to maintain your balance. And that's why, for example, the Toltecs that have reached with their practices, with their breathing, with their discipline, very high levels of consciousness, they don't like to contact the people in the ordinary world because they know that they can reduce their frequency, something that for them has taken a lot of effort to reach. So we need to defend our peace, and this is our right of birth. If you go to nature, nature lives in peace. It's only with our collective emotions and consciousness changes, alters this balance, that we are going to alter also the environment. So that's why in certain cities where you see like there are a lot of clouds and these clouds are gray and they are full of lightnings and like they are almost ready to explode, only by looking to the sky, there are some masters that say that only by looking to the sky you can know how is the collective consciousness of the beings, and I'm not talking about only humans, of the beings of that place. So live in peace is a must, but it has, don't think, oh, this is so difficult. No. Live in peace is your birthright. What you have to do is just maintain it, understanding consciously that there are many external factors that would like to alter your peace. But it's your own decision to say, today I'm going to stay centered. For example, the Reiki principles are wonderful for this because it is a conscious decision to say, just for today, I will not get anger. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be and live in gratitude. Just for today, I will be kind with every human being or with every being. And just for today, I will do my best. It is a conscious decision to maintain your peace. The third point is to solve all the sexual issues. And this is very important because in the genitals is where the vital force is born. So it is very important that we have this centered balance with the energy flowing. If we have traumas, if we don't feel good with our body, with our sexuality, there are things that we need to heal. They could be wounds. Sometimes they're very difficult to tap into them because most of them rely on or stay in the subconscious. So we need to bring them to conscious, to take out our shadows in order to be able to heal them. This will require a little more of time and a little bit more of effort, but it is not impossible. So you have to make peace with your own body, know that it is pure, and with your sexuality and sensuality. And then you're going to be able to enjoy everything on life. Be happy. So whatever doesn't let you feel pleasure in your life, that it is stopping you from just enjoy the present moment and feel happy with it, it is a wound that we have in the sacred chakra. So this is the way that we can just know and say, okay, I cannot enjoy this moment. Why? And go inside yourself to analyze why you have this limitation of feeling happy in this moment. If we change the mindset into a let's trust the universe how it is. let's trust that all what I'm living is in divine order. Let's trust it. It is not attacking me. I don't have to feel in fear. I can live in peace because the universe is bringing me these situations in order for me to learn, to develop, to evolve. If I change my mindset, I completely can change my life. And then is when we tap into the fifth dimension. After we just heal the first three chakras, then our heart opens, expands. In the Course of Miracles, they are going to call it a miracle, because this is like a quantum jump. This is when you are able to completely change your frequency. How does this happen? Let's say that I heal my first three energy centers. Then the energy is reaching into my heart. And my heart starts opening, starts vibrating into a different frequency. When I vibrate in a different frequency, I open the door to the fifth dimension, to the dimension of unconditional love and compassion. Why? Because this higher vibration that I'm feeling is going to attract people and situations that are completely different from the ones that I invited into my life in the past. These new people, this new frequency, these new situations are going to be better. And then I'm going to create a different reality. I'm going to start experiencing something different. It is like living into a parallel reality at the same time. This is very clear and well explained here, if you see, in the book, The Celestine Prophecy. It is a book and it is a movie. You can find it in YouTube and you can just read the book. It is amazing. They say there is another world right here in front of your eyes if you decide to change your perception towards the things, if you decide to live from your heart. And this is why, for example, many indigenous communities that have survived up to now can live in such a different reality from the Western world. They perceive, they feel the world completely different than the way that we perceive it and feel it. And sometimes we can't understand how they live like that, and it is because we are so close-minded. We want to experience everything with our minds, and we don't experience anything with the heart. And that's why for us, how they live is absolutely impossible or inconceivable. We can really not accept it. It's not easy for us. We need to know that there is another possibility. There is a way of living tap into a higher frequency. Just starting in this present moment, if I open my heart, I will create a different reality. And not only for me, because if I find a group of persons that also vibrate in such a higher frequency, the power is going to be amazing. The collective creation, the collective manifestation is absolutely wonderful, especially if these persons consciously decide to feel good and to serve the world. And that is why so many people in power now don't want that people gathered in big groups now, especially because the consciousness of the people is raising up. So there will be more groups that get together to serve the world, to help the people, to meditate, to pray. And this is definitely going to change the collective consciousness and the whole reality. We together are so powerful if we have power emotions, obviously elevated emotions. We are also so powerful if we are all collective suffering, or if we are all collective in stress. But what happens is that we give away our power. We lose the energy. We stop being this energy factory that we can be, because we are just giving away our power to others. So that is why it is so important to maintain the balance in your life and be surrounded with people that are positive for you and that are not negative, that don't push your energy down. There are two ways to start activating the heart, because it is not only that you heal the first three chakras and then the energy reaches your heart. Now you have to do something with that energy. And now I'm going to give you two different methods of activating your heart. The first method is the feminine method. In this way, the Native Americans know the world. They connect through feelings with everything. And that's why here you have this picture of a person using the electromagnetic field of the heart in order to tap with everything in the world, with Mother Earth, with nature, with the other persons. With this method, you need to know how you feel every time that you go to a place, every time that you get into contact with someone or with something. And you also need to be conscious of how you make the other person feel, which means how you are using your energy, how you are using this electromagnetic field. Am I sucking their power? Am I making them feel bad, or am I giving the best of myself and this other being is feeling good? And when I'm talking about beings, it's not only humans. It includes animals, it includes plants. If all the plants that I have in my office always die, well, there is something in my energy. There is something that I am damaging instead of creating or allowing the life to flow. So through this method, the Native Americans went into the forest, for example, the shamans that were the spiritual leaders of the tribe. And they went into meditation inside the forest, and they stayed there, and they start a communication through feeling. How I feel here, I feel the tree, I feel the plant, I feel everything. And if they have questions, for example, there was somebody that was sick and they needed a plant to heal this person. When they enter into this meditation, the plant will reveal itself for them, because there is a service, there is a communication that I respect you and I serve you. In the same way that for nature, that humans protect nature, nature protects humans. So they received all these benefits and they accumulate so much knowledge from nature because they established this communication by feeling. In the same way, for example, Dr. Edward Bach, that it is the one that developed the Bach flowers or Bach remedies, that are flower essences that help you to heal your emotions, to come back into balance. That's the method that he used. He went into nature, he experienced the essence, the feeling of each flower, and he discovered the vibration of the flowers that vibrated with the opposite emotion. So for example, he has the remedy of love, and it is to cure anger, because basically both emotions are polarities. They have the same vibration but in an opposed way, let's say, and that's why one can compensate the other. That's how the flower remedies cure. The flowers are so powerful with our emotions. If you go to nature and you look into a flower, the color, the texture, how it makes you feel. Actually, there are very many flowers, for example, such as the roses, that vibrate in different dimensions, that are from the 7 dimensions. They have such an elevated frequency. They have such a high power in terms of energy that they live in parallel realities at the same time. For example, how summer makes you feel. When there is summer and you receive the sun, it activates your inner fire. So you feel joy, you feel the need to connect, to see friends, to go out. Completely different from winter, that the cold and the yin energy makes you so introverted, the need of self-knowledge, of go within, of being quiet, stay still. So the cycles of nature communicate with us. And if we allow ourselves to be guided by our inner guidance, by our heart, it will let us know how to move in these cycles, how to understand where I am using my full potential and I can stay there, or when I have to move away from that place. because I am not feeling well. So this situation or this person or this place is no longer serving me. It has a lot to do with following your feelings, with connect with how you feel in certain circumstance. So this is the feminine method of activating your heart. Basically, listen in your heart. Get to know your reality just by feeling. Am I feeling good with what I'm doing? Am I feeling good with my role as a mother, with my role as a teacher, with my role as a professional, with my role as a daughter, as a son, whatever you are? Are you feeling okay with your life, or you think that you can transform your life, or that you need to transform your life because you are wasting your energy and your time? So the feminine method has to do with being guided with the feeling. There is another way, which is the masculine method. The masculine method is very clearly explained in the book of Joe Dispenza of Becoming Supernatural. And it is that you consciously, we're going to apply the brain here, we're going to consciously decide how we are going to feel. So he says that if we tap into these elevated emotions, that we all know the emotions that elevate the energy of our heart, or that open the heart. The emotions are obviously love, gratitude, tolerance or acceptance, joy, selflessness, expansion, generosity, all these positive emotions, cooperation, compassion, all these positive emotions open our heart and are the emotions, the feelings that create a better outcome, that makes us feel whole, that makes us feel complete, like that definitely takes us to a good place in our lives. Completely different from stress, depression, and all these that are emotions that first divide societies. The stress completely divides. The fear, I put a barrier between you and me because I fear you. You are not like me. I have to defend myself from you. So the lower emotions divide the societies and drain your vital energy. Meanwhile, the good emotions and positive emotions create an environment of cooperation and such a force, such a strength in the electromagnetic collective field. So it's our sources of power. We need to consciously decide how to feel. That is the method that Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches us. And you remember, the way that you have to do it is that you remember a situation when you felt happy, a situation where you felt in gratitude, and start living and applying that way to see the world during your day. So, for example, today I'm just going to be thankful with everything that I see. I'm going to be thankful for my work. I'm going to be thankful for my working place. I'm going to be thankful with the family that I just kiss and say goodbye in the morning. Thankful with the food. And then if I practice it and practice it and practice it, it becomes my way of living. I can live into that vibration, into the frequency of gratefulness. And then I can move to a higher emotion. For example, love or compassion. Now I am going to help someone else. I'm going to be grateful with my life, yes, but additionally, I'm going to help another person to be grateful for something. And then you start expanding and expanding your field. But first you need to work in yourself on what you decide to feel today at every given moment. So this is how we do it with the masculine method. With the brain, consciously decide how we want to feel. And because we know all what happens, all the negative chemistry that happens in our body, when we have bad emotions, we decide to feel good. We don't allow ourselves to fall into lower vibrations. Obviously we feel, and if we're not feeling good, if we're feeling depressed or something, we do things in order to change that feeling. We don't allow ourselves to go down and down and down until we just touch the bottom. No,